All right. What's up, everybody? My people in Manhattan, the Boogie Down Bronx, Queens, all the way to Staten Island, my homebro Brooklyn. Before I get into this, let me say, if you hear some noise in the background, that's just somebody outside revving up their motorcycle. Just in case y'all hear some background noise. But anyway, this video is going to be a little quick video to the greatest basketball player in the history of the NBA, Mr. Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Today, Michael Jordan turns 59 years old, so I want to wish a happy birthday to Mr. Michael Jordan, who's also, to me, the greatest athlete in the history of American sports, team or individual. Michael Jordan, he's given us so many iconic and legendary moments. He completely changed, to use a hip-hop term, the culture. I'm not a fan of using that term, the culture, but hey, for sake of his argument, he did, especially basketball-wise. Michael Jordan invented what we call sneaker culture. He invented sneaker culture. From the shaved heads. There were dudes in their 20s back in the 90s who were shaving their heads bald just because of Jordan. My pop, even. My pop back in the 90s, I've seen a picture of my pop where he had a shaved head in the hoop earring because of Jordan. Jordan made that stuff cool. He, along with the Fab Five, they brought in long shorts into the basketball world and made them cool. You know what I'm saying? So many iconic moments, starting with this one right here, the 63-point game in the Boston Garden. Unfortunately, they lost this game. They lost the series, but had they won this game, my God, it's already legendary. Jordan's 63-point night against Boston's already legendary. Can you imagine if they had won this game in the series? The 86 Celtics are probably the greatest team ever. They get taken out by a second-year player who was playing, mind you, missed most of that season because of a broken foot. His first game back from broken foot, he scores 49 points in game one and then 63 in game two, which is still a record, a playoff record. My God. Jordan was something different. And of course, probably one of the more iconic images of Michael Jordan, that's saying a whole lot, was the dunk at the 1988 dunk contest between him and Dominique Wilkins, which is probably one of the greatest dunk contest duels of all time. Jordan and Neek in 88, you got Zach LaVine and Eric Gordon back in, 2016? Vince Carter in 2000, one of the most iconic dunk contests of all time. And this dude jumped from the free throw line, soared in the air, and dunked the ball. Michael Jordan made everybody wish that they could fly in the air. Hence Air Jordan. Of course, the shot on Elo in the 88 playoffs. The 89 playoffs. Later on, the next season, and contrary to popular belief, the LeBron James fanboys like to say, oh, Jordan didn't do shit without Scottie Pippen. The reason the Bulls got the first round was because Jordan took his game to a whole nother level in the regular season and the postseason. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, quiet as kept, they were good. They were a good team. They had Mark Price, they had Craig Elo, Brad Daugherty, Ron Harper. The Cavaliers back in the late 80s throughout the early 90s would consistently win 50, 55, 57 games every year. They would just get bounced by Jordan. I believe in 1993, they made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals and got bounced in 6 games by guess who? And here's his iconic celebration, jumping up and yelling at the Cleveland fans, go home, go home, go home. And mind you, the Cavaliers were picked to win that series because they were the better overall team. They defeated the Chicago Bulls in every regular season game that regular season, and they were favored to sweep the Bulls. But Mike said, hell no. And here's a couple years later in the 91 finals, game 2, after dropping game 1, thanks to Magic Johnson's legendary triple-double, the Chicago Bulls won game 2, and they won the series in 5 games. And one of the most iconic images in NBA Finals history was Jordan's layup. And then you hear the legendary Marv Albert say, oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan. A year later, the Shrug game in the 92 finals, Michael Jordan hit, 7 3-pointers, had like 35 points at the half. And the reason Jordan was hell-bent on shooting a bunch of threes that game is because, the media had been saying, my father told me the story, the media had been saying Michael Jordan and Clyde Drexler were pretty much the same players. The only difference is Clyde had a 3-point shot. So essentially, in a roundabout way, people were saying Clyde was better than Michael Jordan. So Jordan went out there and proved a point, hit 6, 7 threes, and then gave that little shrug like, I don't know how I did it. Then a year later, game 4 in the 93 finals, Jordan dropped to the first double nickel, 55 points, 8 boards on 21-37 shooting, and I believe he hit a walk-off shot at the end of the game. The Bulls won game 4, and I believe went up 3-1 in that series against Phoenix. Of course, Phoenix won game 5, and then the Bulls closed down game 6, thanks to John Paxson and Michael Jordan. Of course, Michael Jordan retired after the passing of his father. Came out of retirement. You see, he's wearing number 45, his baseball number. And of course, Jordan. The Bulls, the Chicago Bulls were in danger of missing the play. I mean, not to make this about LeBron, but the LeBron fanboys, they love to say, "Oh, the next year after Jordan retired, the Bulls won 55 games." The Chicago Bulls going in 94, 95, they were in danger of missing the playoffs. I think their record was something like 31 and 34, and they were out of the playoff picture at the time when Jordan came back. Jordan came back, they dropped their first two games, and then he comes back in the first game in the Madison Square Garden. Jordan drops 55. They win 55. They finished that season on a 13-4 run. The Bulls finished the regular season at 45 and 37, and they win a playoff series over the Charlotte Hornets. But the double nickel game, some Knicks fans who were there that night will never forget. Of course, the next year, the legendary 72-win Bulls team, they defeated the Seattle Supersonics in 6 games, and they won Game 6 was on Father's Day. And of course, Michael Jordan's father had passed, so this was his first championship celebration without his father. So you see him on the floor, very emotional, crying, hugging the basketball. See with his championship hat and T-shirt. Hey, Mike, I know how you feel, man. Something happened to my pop, I don't know what I would do. Of course, the next year, next year in the NBA Finals in 1997, Michael Jordan, the iconic flu game. The flu game, which as we all know, was food poisoning instead of the flu game. Some people suspected it was a hangover. Some said it was food poisoning. Well, it was confirmed to be food poisoning, and he still dropped 38, and the Bulls still won the championship in 6 games. Here's Scottie Pippen helping Jordan off the field. An iconic image. I mean, hey, and when you're a legendary, dare I say, godlike player, when you're a Mount Olympus athlete, pretty much every image from you is going to be iconic. And of course, the perfect bow to cap off a perfect career in Chicago. Game 6 in the 98 Finals, Jordan dropped 45 points in Utah, the toughest place to play in the NBA, especially back then in the Stockton Malone era. And Jordan crossed over Byron Russell, and no, he did not push off. All you Jordan haters out there. Not push off, hit the shot, held the pose. Bob Costas said, Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead. Timeout, Utah. And of course, here's his infamous Hall of Fame speech where he took shots at everybody who ever doubted him from, high school to that moment right there. Michael Jordan is a living legend. He deserves all the flowers he gets, all you people, all you woke idiots who want to hit on Jordan for not speaking out enough, for blah, blah, blah. Y'all just shut the fuck up and enjoy what Jordan gave you. Like I said, the man invented sneaker culture. Okay, I was born raised here in Brooklyn. I can't tell you how many dudes I've seen get beat up and jumped over Jordan shoes, man. Over sneakers. Okay, I'm not advocating for that, by the way. I'm just saying, because that's a horrible thing. But I'm just saying, them 11s, the Jordan 11s, the flu games, the ones, all this. Michael Jordan invented sneaker culture. I can't stress that enough. When you invent an entire culture that's still prominent in basketball and hip hop and really in America today, you're definitely like a super legend. But it is what it is. Tell me in the comment section down below your favorite Michael Jordan moment. Did I miss anything? Those were just a couple of my favorite ones. My most favorite Michael Jordan moment, oh man, there's just so many of them. But personally, I like that 91 finals. That 91 finals when he won his first championship after years of being doubted and people saying, oh, he couldn't win. He was too selfish. He's a ball hog, blah, 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 blah. And then to defeat Magic Johnson, who was not old, contrary to popular belief. And then that iconic image of him sitting, crying, hugging the championship trophy, celebrating with his dad, his mom, and his wife. That's probably my favorite image and favorite Michael Jordan moment. Plus, he played great in that series, I did a video on Jordan's 91 playoff run, like about a year ago. So I'm putting a link that in the description down below. But hey, tell me what you think it is. Click the like button, subscribe. Help a young brother grow on YouTube. See y'all. Happy birthday, Michael Jordan.